Donald Trump's marital issues are being exposed yet again, but it's no surprise that the leader of the party of family values, who had an affair with a porn star while his third wife was pregnant. It's no surprise that that guy is having trouble in his marriage, but yet again, Donald Trump is having his dirty laundry aired out, and this time it's by none other than Melania Trump. Yes, Melania Trump made a post recently that many believe is her throwing some shade at Donald Trump, a little subtly, but she surely is. I certainly believe so. But this is not the only time recently that Melania Trump has gotten Donald Trump into some trouble with what she has said. And before we get to what Melania posted, what is really leading Donald Trump to panic, because again, it just makes him look so bad that not only is Melania never on the campaign trail with him, but actively throwing shade at Donald Trump. Before we get into all of that, I quickly want to take a look at a story that I don't think got enough coverage of something that Melania said that was exposed by a former Trump official, Stephanie Grisham. She talked about it at the DNC, and I want to check it out.
I wasn't just a Trump supporter. I was a true believer. I was one of his closest advisors. The Trump family became my family. I spent Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's all at Mar-a-Lago. I saw him when the cameras were off. Behind closed doors, Trump mocks his supporters. He calls them basement dwellers. On a hospital visit one time when people were dying in the ICU, he was mad that the cameras were not watching him. He has no empathy, no morals, and no fidelity to the truth. He used to tell me, "It doesn't matter what you say, Stephanie. Say it enough and people will believe you." But it does matter. What you says matter, and what you don't say matters. On January 6th, I asked Melania if we could at least tweet that while peaceful protest is the right of every American, there's no place for lawlessness or violence. She replied with one word: no. I became the first senior staffer to resign that day. I couldn't be part of the insanity any longer.
Incredibly revealing of not just Trump, but the whole Trump family, that Melania not only didn't care about the assault on our democracy on January 6th, but more so than that, I think it was she knew Trump wouldn't care. She wasn't going to ask him to send out a message calling for peace because she knew that he wouldn't. And it just shows how little that family cares about our democracy and how little that they'd sacrifice, or they'd never sacrifice, to protect anyone or serve anyone but themselves. And so really just so damaging for that to be shown, and especially from a former Trump official. Now there are so many who worked within his administration and are coming out against him, and of course they are. Anyone who witnessed January 6th should have the courage to speak up against Donald Trump, and it is a shame that they don't more. But I am so glad that that text was exposed, and I am so glad that maybe Melania is throwing a little bit of shade. I think she is, or at least it's being picked up in a post that she made recently about New York City, kind of cryptic, but myself and many others are kind of believing that it's a little bit of a jab at Donald Trump. And I want to get into all of that with this article right here. Melania shares cryptic post about New York amid barren college mystery. Melania Trump marked her 28th anniversary as a New Yorker on Tuesday by posting an aerial photo of Manhattan and sharing one of her more effusive public comments on any subject to date. New York City captivated my heart the moment I arrived 28 years ago today, the former First Lady wrote in a cryptic post on X, formerly Twitter. This electrifying town isn't just my home, it's a colorful canvas where dreams come alive. New York's iconic skyline and vibrant culture inspire me every day. There's a lot to unpack here. Was her unusually emotive post a mother's ode to her son, Barron Trump, 18, who is beginning college as a freshman at a still unnamed campus that may or may not be in New York, according to her husband? Or was she sending smoke signals to Donald, whose bloody campaign to return to the White House she has largely shunned, save for her very brief appearance at the GOP convention in Milwaukee in July? Or was her talk of an electrifying town in a colorful canvas where dreams come alive in a vibrant culture a simple daydream you walk down memory lane, reliving the glory days of glamour on the sanctified social party scene in New York and elsewhere in the late 1990s and early aughts before they married in 2005. The X post could also have been a dig at Donald Trump, who seems to hate current-day New York as much as New Yorkers hate him. The Big Apple captivated Melania's heart, but in sharing more feelings about the subject than she has in years, Melania Trump notably made no mention of her husband, who stole her heart not long after she arrived in 1996. He is mirrored in the historic campaign of his lifetime, and every American's lifetime for that matter. Is she so aloof to this blood sport of a campaign her husband is waging that she's like, I heart New York? It's just bizarre, a source who covered Melania's tenure as First Lady told the Daily Beast. But then again, Melania is preoccupied with her own doings, soaring higher and likely enjoying looking down on Manhattan. Her forthcoming book, Melania, a memoir, became the #1 bestseller on Amazon this week, which seems to explain her X post more than anything else. I like to believe that, as this article mentioned, Melania is just taking a shot at Donald Trump, who hates New York City because of course, New York City hates Donald Trump and convicted him of 34 felonies, not the city, not the Biden DOJ, but the residents of New York who found Donald Trump guilty. But I think that it is very clear, obviously, that there are trouble between the two. That's why Melania Trump seems to be paid to go to any campaign events. It's why we haven't seen her on the campaign trail with Donald Trump, like we've seen Doug Emhoff out on behalf of Kamala Harris, being an incredible surrogate, an incredible husband. And of course, we've seen many examples of Melania and Donald Trump not getting along in the public eye, and I want to check those out right here. It always makes me laugh to see the hand be swatted away, Melania not wanting to walk next to Donald Trump. We can very clearly see in these videos she's not entertained being next to him and would rather just be away. It's funny to see. And those weird interactions between Melania and Trump remind me of a tweet that Don Jr. put out a little bit ago. It was during the first rally with both Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, after Tim Walz was announced as Kamala Harris's running mate, and Tim Walz gave a excited hug to his wife, celebrating the momentous occasion. For some reason, Donald Trump Jr. wanted to attack it and wrote this on Twitter. Don Jr. wrote, "Totally normal to greet your wife with a firm handshake and a bro hug backslap. Tim Walz isn't weird at all, guys." Now, of course, that's Don Jr. trying to co-opt the weird messaging that Democrats have so perfectly crafted against Republicans, calling out not only their strange policies, but the especially weird things folks like J.D. Vance have to say and the desire they have to invade our lives for no good reason. But I don't know what Donald Trump Jr. sees that was strange between Tim Walz and his wife, just giving a hug. Again, maybe it's because his dad never had a great relationship with his mom, doesn't have a great relationship with his current wife, so Don Jr. isn't very much accustomed to seeing love between two parents. I don't want to psychoanalyze. I don't want to get too mean towards Don Jr., but it's not the first time that he's said something that has brought up maybe skeletons in Donald Trump's closet that he does not want to be reminded of, just like he did in this clip right here.
We're never going to surrender. It's not our style, man. We don't. At this point, we got to fight, because congratulations. If you're in this room right now, you're probably on the FBI list. You're in with me, my father, my family, so you're in with good company. I am on every list except the Epstein list. We haven't heard anything about that one in a while. I'm fine with all the other lists. As long as I'm not on the Epstein list, we're good, right? Speaking of which, how is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light? I'm trying to figure out how that's possible, right, folks? It's almost like they're trying to protect those pedophiles for some reason. I can't imagine why, right? We're not allowed to say they're groomers, but when they act a lot like groomers, sort of tells you everything you need to know, right?
Republicans love to do this. They love to bring up Jeffrey Epstein for some reason, and I especially don't get it with Don Jr. There was nothing that provoked him to do this at CPAC a little bit ago, a couple months ago. There's no reason that he had to make this comment. He just decided to, that everyone needed to hear about it. And sometimes I feel like Don Jr. is a double agent, because Why would you bring up Jeffrey Epstein, who is a friend of Donald Trump's, unless you just wanted to embarrass him, which Don Jr. appears to consistently be doing. And do you know what? It's great. Thank you for the reminder, Don Jr. Thank you for making your dad look bad. It really makes what we do here a lot easier. And if you want to support what we're doing at this show, make sure, as always, to hit that subscribe button, to leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. If you'd also like to add a little bit of extra support, you can click that join button, become a monthly member. It really goes a long way. And until next time, I'll see you soon.